Science lesson with Tutor Anna. Welcome, class. Are you excited for a fun learning lesson? Today's science lesson are to classify materials based on the ability to absorb water. Let's go back to our past lecture about matter. Matter is anything that has mass and takes up space. It requires at least one subatomic particle, although most matter consists of atoms. Solid, one of the three basic states of matter, has a fixed shape and fixed volume. In a liquid state of matter, particles are less tightly packed as compared to solid. It has no fixed shape and no fixed volume, while gas is defined as a state of matter consisting of particles that have neither a defined volume nor defined shape. Let us discuss the special properties of matter. In this lesson, you will discover the special properties of materials and the changes that will happen when they are exposed to certain conditions. You will learn how to classify materials based on their ability to absorb water, float or sink in water, and undergo decay. Porosity is the property of materials that absorb liquid like water. Examples of these are towel, tissue paper, and sponge. While density is the amount of mass of an object per unit volume. The examples of these are pan, plastic bag, spoon, and fork. What can you say about the pictures in set B? Do you think that these materials have the ability to absorb water also? If you place all these materials in water, which materials will have the ability to sink or float in water? Porosity is the property of a material to absorb liquid like water. Porous materials have plenty of spaces or holes called pores, where liquid can be quickly absorbed. In set A, you see that towels, tissues, and sponge are good materials that absorb water. They are used at home. The ability of materials to absorb water is due to the presence of loose fibers, which lots of pores or holes between the particles that make up the materials. In sponge, for example, these holes or pores absorb water, making the sponge swell. When you are cooking, you make sure that the materials are clean before using them. When you squeeze the sponges, you are forcing the water or liquid cleanser out of the holes that cleanse the surface of the dishes, glasses, or spoons that you wash and use in cooking. Other materials that absorb water like tissue paper, cottons, and cloth are called porous materials. These materials can easily undergo decay. It happens because the presence of water or moist in the materials can cause degradation of the materials due to the presence of microorganisms that harbors or pile up in the materials. Materials like plastic or metal spoons and forks, porcelains, cups, iron nails, aluminum cookwares, and glasses that you use at home do not absorb water or liquid. Hence, they are called non-porous materials. These are materials that air or liquid can pass through because there are no holes or spaces between their particles. The ability of materials to sink or float in water depends on their density. Density is the amount of mass of an object per unit volume. Water has density of 1 gram per cubic centimeter. If the density of an object is higher than the density of water, that object will sink in water. But if the density of the object is less than the density of water, the object will float in water. Different materials have different densities. For example, gold will sink in water because its density of 19.3 grams per cubic centimeter is higher than the density of water, which is 1 gram per cubic centimeter. Thank you for attending our class. Don't forget to like and subscribe para laging updated sa lessons.